Hey, David here with Core of Confidence, talking about the number one strategy to attract your perfect 10 woman. So I'm going to be sharing this strategy with you and getting into some good details about it in order to help you attract your perfect 10 woman, because ultimately that's what every guy wants, right? They want their perfect 10, that woman who's beautiful, who's gorgeous, who's special to them, and he's special to her. Right, inside and out, that they have that connection, that chemistry, that bond. And so that's what we're talking about today, okay? And super important topic that I know you guys want to hear about. So know that, you guys are part of this community, right? Without you guys in the community, this stuff doesn't happen. This is for you guys, successful guys, executives, entrepreneurs who are doing well in their business or career, but not so well in your love life, perhaps, or you just need some help to get to what you want. Maybe you're doing okay, maybe you're doing mediocre, but the one I hear all the time is the women I like don't like me, and the women that like me, I don't want them, right? That's a really, really common one, because honestly, playing guys come to me might have some legitimate, fine confidence. They don't necessarily have confidence problems. A fair majority of guys do, some don't. And it's really surprising to see that you would think that only confidence solves it. Confidence is an important thing, thus core of confidence here, but it takes more, much more than confidence, as we'll talk about today, okay? And so also want to share something with you, have my classic mojo training, swagger training, about why it's important, why you need it, and those aspects of it. So just drop mojo in the comments if you want to get the link to that, and I'll make sure you get the link to that training. Okay, so just put mojo in the comments if that's something that you want. Okay, so here we are, and by the way, I'm assuming that some of you know me. I got to assume that some, or maybe a lot of you don't if you're new to the community. So I'm David Hamilton. I'm the founder of Core of Confidence. And what I do is help successful men crush it in their love lives, get their 10 out of 10 in their love life, right? Attract their perfect 10 women. Because look, are there certain standards around beauty that we can all say these women are 8, 9, 10? Yeah, there are some of those standards. But I've also seen it and experienced it when it comes to a relationship, that shifts, because it's so much more than about looks. Of course, that attraction has to be there. That's a given. We're men, we're guys, right? That's the way it is. But as you know, especially if you've ever dated beautiful women, it takes a lot more than looks to create that relationship that is going to be fulfilling for you and for her, right? There has to be that. And you've got to handle your end of it. She's got to handle her end of it, right? You're not responsible for the whole thing, but you got to handle your end of it. Of course, your end, okay? So the number one strategy to attract your perfect woman. Well, I call it the attraction on command strategy. Why do I call it that? I should probably call it attraction on always, because that's what it really is about, okay? What it's been on my journey and my path in my life. Look, I started when I really wanted to start to solve this for myself, I read this book called The Game. Back in 2006, or was it 2005? I think it was 2005, and just a few months into 2006, and I had just broken up with a girlfriend, okay? And I was heartbroken and devastated, like many guys that get into seduction and pickup, and especially back then when it was this whole kind of new thing, right? And so what ended up happening was, some guy that I met through friends who was also like newly single, and we kind of hit it off as buddies, right? And he said, hey, there's this book called The Game. Check it out. It's going to help you. So I went and read that book, and I applied I read it just cover to cover in 2 days. I was fascinated with it. Okay. And I went out and applied some of the strategies at a local bar by my house. And I'd never really gone out by myself to a local bar like that. And it worked a little, but not very well. Okay. Because I didn't know what I was doing really socially. And I was using these kind of canned lines and things that they were talking about in the book. Okay. I didn't have a vibe or the vibe, right? The vibe that would be the kind that attracts women naturally. Hint, hint. Okay. And so I went on this whole journey and I started day, night, learning more about pickup, taking these workshops, really doing my best to become better with women and to sort of take control of my love life, like really take control of it in a way I never had done before, right? I'm sure some of you can relate to this. And so I got deeper into the pickup rabbit hole, okay? And some of you may not know what I'm talking about. And don't worry if you don't, but basically the pickup or seduction community is all about how to go hunting for girls, right? And you kind of go out of your way and go hunting them down, okay? Now, it does work, okay? It does work, but the numbers of women you have to go through just to talk to and approach are tons, and it almost becomes like a separate identity in life. That's what I experienced. A lot of guys experience that get into it and get out. Guys that even became instructors and got out, okay? It becomes this whole like strange separate identity that you want to hide away from your friends and family and everyone, instead of being more naturally integrated and good with women, right? And, you know, improving your life, improving your skills, sure, but not making it this thing that's like, and so what we would do is go out together as like groups of guys and like sit around and talk about those pickup in these like really like, frankly, nerdy ways, you know, and, you know, and look, tons of really good guys, right? I was a good guy, maybe a little weird, maybe a little awkward or real awkward, but, and then there were some douchebag guys, but most of the guys were good guys. And then most of them would go in and then see that it's not easy and then, you know, leave because it also was like this separate thing. And then we'd almost sit around talking about game more than being actually interested in connecting with women and experiencing women, right? In terms of dating and relationships, okay? So that didn't work. And then it took me years to undo habits, even though I left it because I had ingrained these habits of hunting, just even in my mind and like the way I behaved out in public, squirreling, which I call that kind of behavior that even like guys that have never done pickup or whatever, like, oh, she's so hot, this and that, right? Which I say, stop doing that, right? Appreciate, don't salivate over women that you find attractive, okay? So, but see, my journey wasn't over because it was like, I got some results with it, but it wasn't really me. I definitely learned some things from it. I learned social skills and things, but my mind sort of got twisted, okay? And look, our minds can get twisted in a lot of different ways. You may not have gone on that journey because, see, my journey began with that bad breakup, right? That girl I loved, and she said she didn't love me anymore, right? And then I was like, this is never going to happen to me again, right? And so and that began this journey. And the whole journey has gone many different, you know, twists and turns because it's really about me. It's about you, right? Because we're the common point of what we attract. Okay. It's really important to get that. We look at the common denominator across all your relationships. It's you, it's me, it's whoever is that person that's saying, hey, I'm not quite getting what I want here in my love life. Career's going good, business is going good, kids are going good. If you're, you know, divorced guy, health's going good. You're hitting the gym. You're doing martial arts or yoga or riding, you know, bicycles, whatever you call it. Cycling. Sorry, riding bicycles. It's so dumb. You're riding bicycles like a kid. No, you're cycling, whatever, right? Skiing, so on and so forth, playing basketball, whatever you're into, staying healthy. But this part isn't working, right? And, or you just, you had something that just didn't work out. Maybe it was, an unfortunate situation that just didn't work out in your marriage. So you're a year or two out of your divorce, right? Looking to find your way here, looking to, because you might even realize that you have a pattern of attracting certain types of women. You might be having a lot of women flake or ghost on you. You might be trying to use online dating or matchmaking services, and it's not working out, because that's just like throwing some, fish into the stream, but somebody may need some fishing technique assistance to catch those fish, because those aren't easy fish to catch, by the way. Just because there's a bunch of fish out there doesn't mean they're easy to catch. When we talk about women, they can be very fickle creatures, if you haven't noticed, when it comes to attraction, connection, relationships, right? It's just true. And listen, they think we're fickle creatures, and we go, what? We're simple. We're easy. You guys are the complicated ones. But, overall, men and women tend to think differently about how we relate to each other in relationships. Okay. So what's the key here, right? What's the key to the strategy? Well, the key, my friends, is you. Okay. The key is you. The key is to commit to the path of becoming a deeply attractive man, an irresistible man, the kind that she can't keep her mind off of, the kind that she has to tell her girlfriends about or her guy friends. Think about that one, okay? Because I know a lot of you have been the guy that she would tell, right, about the guy that she likes, and what do I do? And I really like this guy. Never again do you want to be that guy, unless you have a legitimate friendship with a woman and you have that kind of thing. Some guys say you can't really be friends with women. I don't believe that, because that's not my experience. I've friend zoned plenty of women now, okay? Doesn't mean they don't want to hook up with me, but I'm like, maybe, maybe not, probably not, okay? But here's one thing for sure. If there's a woman that I really like, but it doesn't quite work like that for me anymore, because I flipped the script on everything, right? As I talk about my Attraction on Command masterclass. So it doesn't really happen, which doesn't mean I don't put myself out there. I mean, I do all that, right? I do attract women constantly. Okay. And, but it's becoming having this irresistible vibe, this deeply attractive vibe. Okay. Which means, what does that mean? You're like, what the hell does that mean? Right. That means you actually have to focus on being a man of value, not only in the world and not only with women, but with men too. Not that you want to date men, but in a way that is more or less inclusive of everyone. It's not about being a people pleaser. Okay. It's not about any of that, but it's not about coveting, trying to covet women. Okay. It's a big problem so many guys have. I'm coaching one of my uncles right now on this stuff. He's got big problems with the women he's been seeing. But guess what? He had problems from the start with this. And I knew it. But, and now, and I'm not going to say anything, right? Because I don't just go out there doling out free advice, okay, to people that don't want it. But now that he knows what I do, right, he's coming to me and it's all broken. So you have to get this stuff right from the start, because then you're playing damage control and you are trying to bail water out of a sinking battleship. And I'm not saying it's unsalvageable, but it's much harder to salvage if you're not this guy from the beginning, okay? This type of guy. Now, I just want to bust the myth and also confirm the truth of be yourself, right? Be yourself. Just be yourself and they'll come. What does that mean? Well, if what you're doing isn't working for you and that's yourself, you can't keep doing that no matter what your friends say, no matter what mom, brother, dad, sister, son, daughter says to you. Just be yourself. Case in point, most of you guys aren't like this, I'm sure. I'm almost positive. But let's say there's Johnny, and Johnny's like, I can't help myself. I just got to tell her she has nice tits. She's so hot. Obviously, Johnny's from Brooklyn. I just got to tell that woman that she looks so good, right? And I got to stare, and that's just who I am. Well, Johnny, I'm sorry, but if you're going to do that, I'm pretty damn sure you are not attracting women or quality women or with consistency other than playing a numbers game, because maybe Johnny just says it to every woman he thinks is attractive and eventually something might hit, okay, which is a really bad return on investment for your time and your energy, okay? So Johnny has to change some things about how he thinks, about how he acts, right? If you can't talk to women and you can't interact, so let's talk about the shy guy for a second, because I helped the shy guy. That used to be me. Some guys, I sort of realized that, like, even in day-to-day passing, they may be very nervous talking to an attractive woman across the counter, right? I sort of forget that I used to be like that too. Pardon me, even in that scenario, let alone at an event, okay? Or out at your local happy hour or wherever it is, right? Or your yoga class or wherever it is you want to go, okay? And if not approaching women and breaking through that fear of approaching women and being relaxed and comfortable enough to talk to a woman is just who you are, well, that has to change. That's just plain and simple, right? At the same time, who's the core of you, the authentic you, the one who wants to come out, the one who's not really expressing himself the right way and in a way that women respond well to? That's the alignment I'm talking about here. Okay. That's the alignment. Okay. So it's sort of like, here's the stuff you're doing, saying, thinking, acting that doesn't work. And then here's the stuff that is who you are, but maybe it doesn't always come out, and maybe it's there, but it never gets a chance to come out in the right way. And those things have to come together. Okay. So at the center of you and and then there's the behaviors and stuff, those got to line up. Okay. Does that make sense? So, because it's a half truth, be yourself. It is partially true, right? We're not telling you to go and change your life and change your hobbies and, ditch your business and just, no, there are certain things, or just get rid of your kids. See how that one works. Oh yeah, you shouldn't, you shouldn't be dating women to get rid of your kids. I don't think so. But there are plenty of things that you're doing that aren't working. For instance, chasing the women, right? Talk about that in my attraction on command methodology, my masterclass, right? Which you can, go check out and sign up for on coreconfidence.com as well. Okay. If you're relying on online dating as your primary approach here, guys, especially for you guys, definitely 40 plus, and you want younger women. Because what happens in online dating, I don't know if you know this, as you get to the round 10s in age, 30, 40, well, more 40, 50, 60, women start to filter out. It's a psychological thing, even though it's bullshit in terms of attraction and connection, which is why I focus on you got to meet women socially, and you've got to actually have a lifestyle and have a life, have a social life. If you don't have one, you have to start building one, right? That's something I help guys do as well. Focusing on that, where to go that aligns with them. But you also got to go to places where there are going to be women available, because you can communicate so much more and knock the socks off of other guys with the vibe, with cultivating the right vibe, okay? A deeply attractive vibe that other guys aren't, because those guys are trying to use the internet too. You get that? And you can be a 40 plus guy, 45-year-old guy, 46. I help 40. I got a 46-year-old guy now. I got a 59-year-old guy right now. I got 55-year-old. Okay. I help 40s and 50s guys all day long. Okay. Easy peasy. Okay. And some of these guys want significantly younger. I wouldn't even say one guy wants 15 years younger. Let me see here. Is that? Now that's not significantly younger is coming on 20 years to me. Okay. In my world. And some of you may go like, whoa, that's crazy. But when you understand how this stuff works, it's not at all. And women get it. When you're this type of guy with this irresistible vibe, this deeply attractive vibe, okay, it cuts through the room like nobody's business. Now, not every single woman in there, but way more than you would think. Now, it also comes down to understanding how this stuff works, taking the time to understand the psychology of women, taking the time to understand what they want in their world, what truly attracts them on this level, okay, of irresistibility, of deep attraction, okay? And a huge part of this, guys, is when we communicate with women, you can't communicate the same way as we tend to communicate with guys, okay? Flirtatious, fun, and free, the 3 Fs. Flirtatious, fun, and free, okay, is part of this strategy. If you're too serious, if you're too boring, okay, if you're too all about the facts and the knowledge, it's bad, okay? Watch that, the flame that may have been there, smolder out, and then it doesn't come back. Okay. So, it all comes back to being this type of guy, but it's your version of it. So if you think of like, you know, the Venn diagrams, right? And there's a Venn diagram of what needs to change and then what the best of you is and where those merge. That's, and you know, the things I talk about, the attraction on command methodology, meet women socially, flip the script, remove the pedestal, cultivate that sexy magnetic vibe. I'm going to start calling it deeply attractive, I think, because though sexually magnetic is in there, it's more than that. I say sexually magnetic because a lot of guys lack that sexual presence and edge. Okay. But it's still more than that. It's fascinating. It's fascinating psychologically, energetically, emotionally, because see, women really, really, really connect on emotions. Us guys can connect on facts and things, or like, I just started full disclosure. I just started doing a self-defense class, Krav Maga. I've done martial arts before. It's not technically a martial art. It's a self-defense fighting system. I love it. I'm so glad. I'm just like, so glad I'm back to it. It's like, why did I ever leave or not start something else? But, life happens, whatever. And so, you can build connections with guys just by, having a little fun there, right? But with women, you do have to have a certain mastery over conversation and words. You don't have to be the greatest in the world, but you have to be able to speak, and you got to be able to listen, for crying out loud, okay? Understand what they want. You got to listen from that place, and you have to understand and have your own sexual presence and edge, right? Call it the good guy with the edge. But all that together is the deeply attractive vibe or the irresistible vibe. The one that leaves her wanting more, that has her telling her girlfriends about you, that has her telling her guy friends, the guy that you used to be once you're on this path and lock this in. And then forevermore, no matter what happens, which also gives you the best shot to attract your perfect 10 woman, right? Is that you'll have this, you'll know, and she'll know it. Okay. She'll know that because of how you attracted her, okay, that you can go out and next day start meeting new women. Not saying there wouldn't be some emotional stuff or whatever, the relationship ended for whatever reason. Okay. But she'll know that you're this type of guy, which it compels her to stay with you more, by the way. And here's one thing that guys get wrong too. Okay, I see it all the time, especially in applications for a breakthrough call with me, a free call with me to map out a plan, love life, and talk about next level, next steps, all that. Is guys often set on one woman, okay? And they're trying to use a one-to-one strategy instead of using a many-to-one strategy and focusing on that. Look, you guys are successful guys, okay? The majority of my clients are actually business owners and entrepreneurs, successful ones, okay? Some are marketing officers, Okay. Like executive officer, right? An executive, a VP, a COO, right? That kind of thing. And, what happens is a guy will come in, there's this one woman, right? But the thing is, all you guys understand at this level, imagine if you just focused only on one client. What would happen to your business? What would happen to your executive position if you didn't think of managing multiple clients or multiple employees, okay? Or multiple people under you, staff that's under you. You only focused on one of those people and put everything that you had into it. What's going to happen to your position? What's going to happen to your business? It's going to disappear. So guys wonder why, but I got to make her like me. Okay. It doesn't work that way. And for some of you guys, this is going to be a little hard-hitting news because you could be really emotionally attached to, it could be ex-wife. Okay. It could be ex-girlfriend or current girlfriend that you just want to get her back. Okay. But everything you're doing is chasing her, which has her run further away from you. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? But aside from that, plenty of guys are still operating the strategy and focusing on this girl and that girl and this one, boom. Instead of focusing on being this guy and a many-to-one strategy, attracting them, and then start attracting more quality women by being this guy, and then you pick and choose the cream of the crop. And you guys will pick each other. It'll be easy, okay? But the hardest part is getting this, actually the irresistible vibe and the deeply attractive vibe right, okay? Which does stem from stopping chasing, removing the pedestal, all that stuff absolutely applies here, okay? Can't go into more detail. That's plenty of other stuff here that talks about that, okay? And so let me just look at my final note here. So listen, if you want some help with this and want a clear, direct map and path customized to you for how to overcome your challenges and identify your challenges, because a lot of guys actually don't know their challenges very well, or they're only surface level. So we get to the root of those, the map a plan based on overcoming those challenges, and then talk about that clear vision of the exact type of love life and relationship you want and appropriate steps with it. Then just type call in the comments below, CALL, and we'll have a chat and see about booking in a time to really skyrocket your love life for you, okay? And get you your perfect 10 of a woman eventually. Look, some of you guys may want to have fun for a while. That's cool. A lot of times, when we start talking, guys will start to go, you know what? I might want to have a little more fun than I thought. Absolutely cool. Because I don't teach bad boy stuff here, right? I definitely want you to have some swagger and edge, but it's a good guy with that deeply attractive vibe and edge, okay? And so type call in the comments below if you want to do that, and would love to help you out. We'll have a little chat. We'll get in touch with you, and we'll see about doing that, okay? And so what we talked about today, the number one strategy to attract your perfect 10 woman is to become that irresistible guy, that deeply attractive guy, okay? By aligning and shifting what's not working, all the stuff I talk about in Attraction on Command, right? And getting the vibe, and then also taking the best of you, the stuff that is authentically, truly you that needs to come out and wants to express, okay? AKA even your core values, we can call it, okay? Your core, what's important to you, what really matters to you. Because all the stuff that doesn't work has got to go, okay? And so you got to be a man of value. You got to be somebody who's actually giving to the world in terms of not only interacting with women, but with men, with everybody. That's sometimes I talk about widening the vibe a little bit, okay? But flirtatious, fun and free, especially. Because I know a lot of you guys struggle with that. You're too serious. You're too logical thinking and not understanding a woman's world, which is a huge part of that as well, right? And what truly attracts them. And it's not being all serious and that's, and so I also mentioned, type mojo in the comments if you want to see that video on the mojo and the swagger, which is part of that, right? And that's that. So, and certainly if you want to talk and book a call, would love to chat to you about that, and just type call in the comments below. Okay. So that's it.